My name is Summer, and this is my story of how I became unfucked. I mean, there's been more than one. The lowest point is losing custody of my daughter.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a very unique thing, but that was low. In a controlled environment, I was served with papers and I had everything that I had built up taken from me. I had my daughter taken from me. I had my house taken from me. My pets were taken from me. Yeah, that moment of losing everything was probably the lowest. It didn't stop me, but that was probably the lowest.
Yeah. At your lowest point, did you have a support system? If so, what role did they play? And if not, how did you manage to navigate through that period alone?
I didn't have to navigate it alone. I do have a giant support system, predominantly my family. There's not a lot of people outside of my family. I kind of cut everyone off, and but my family is someone that have always been there for me, and they've always been willing to support and do for and pick me up from jail and house me when I'm fresh out and love me and tell me everything's going to be okay and be there in any way they possibly could be for me. I have a big family and we've all had our own struggles, and so we all understand and have compassion for one another. And again, not all the pillars of mental health, but they've been nothing but loving and supportive and have always wanted the best for me. So I'm very grateful I've had that, because I know not a lot of people do. I know not a lot of people have a giant support system like that, and I'm very grateful for mine.
Awesome. Can you share a moment that was a turning point for you, leading you to decide to change your life's direction?
Well, every time I'm sitting in the county, it sounds like a good idea. Like, what am I doing here again? Like, how did I get here? But it's like this weird vortex. Like, the second you leave, you go back to doing the same exact thing that you were doing. I do, at least. And so, you know, I finally had enough. After a while, I knew that my lifestyle sucked, but I didn't know how to pull out of it. Until I finally had enough things happen in 1 year and racked up enough charges, and the consequences were severe enough. I finally decided to try something different. My attorney has my legal attorney has been with me. My criminal attorney has been with me for a long time, and she's also my friend. She's one of the people I trust wholeheartedly, and some of her insight really helped. She was trying to get me out of trouble again, and I had this like moment. I realized that everything just kept compounding and getting worse and worse and worse. The lifestyle I was living never got better. It just kept getting worse. And so I don't know, I kind of just had this moment where like maybe I should try something entirely different and I should follow direction. I get really full of my own bright ideas, and it got me to the point I was at, and she provided me an opportunity to better my life, and I took it. I took it.
How did you confront or overcome the feelings of despair or hopelessness that often accompanies life's toughest challenges?
I got loaded about it.
Yeah.
That was my one and only coping skill.
Yeah.
A lot of the despair was a direct result of the lifestyle I was living. And there wasn't no healthy solutions work because you're not a healthy person. So I got loaded over it time and time again, and it never made it better. It just compounded it and made it worse.
What role did forgiveness play in your process of moving forward?
That took a while. It took a while to forgive everyone. I really had to take a look at the part I played in it. I have found, even this much time later, that the people I have or struggle with giving forgiveness to, it's usually a part I played. I learned to forgive myself. I have forgiven myself for a lot of things. My past still comes up and bites me, and it stings still. It still hurts. Some of the things I've done to people, and it still hurts. But I've forgiven myself. I don't dwell on it now. I don't let it wreck my life. I've tried really hard and worked really hard on myself to not be the person I was, and so I try to show that in my actions now. And so forgiveness is still, life still happens and things still happen. And so forgiveness is one of those skill sets that you got to keep working on. Nobody's perfect. Life happens. And so it's still an active process of forgiving. But a lot of the things I did and a lot of the people I hurt or that hurt me, I've gotten into forgiveness about it.
In what ways did your struggles shape the person you are today?
Oh, major. And I would argue that your struggles change you no matter who you are. It's made me grateful. It's made me very, very, very grateful. I lived a life and had a lot less. And so now I'm grateful for the little things. I'm grateful for the people. I'm grateful for genuine relationships. And it gave me the ability to weed through some bullshit. I surrounded myself with a really interesting group of people that weren't always trustworthy so it's provided me insight into how other people think and feel and how they're acting or why they're acting. And it's given me a lot of insight and a lot of perspective, and it makes me really grateful now.
Looking back, was there a piece of advice or a message you received during your darkest times that helped you see a glimmer of hope?
Yes, there
What
was.
it?
I didn't hear it at the time, though. It was told to me over and over and over again by one of our friends, a mutual friend, who has also unfucked his life. And at the time, he'd tell me, dope shit's not life. Dope shit isn't life. And he'd never elaborate. He'd get all tongue-tied. He couldn't explain to me what that meant. He'd just say, dope shit's not life. It's not life. I'm like, well, we're kind of living now. We kind of got a bag. We're kind of doing all right. But it wasn't and that one didn't hit me till later, till I really unfucked my life and started living a better life. That one was, that one stuck with me. I was like, I still don't get it. But that quote stuck with me, but I didn't hear it until some time after I had, started unfucking my life. There was one that stuck with me I didn't hear during my darkest time, but throughout my life, I've heard my dad's voice tell me, since I've been a kid, I don't care what you are in this world, as long as you're a good person. Whatever career choice it is, whatever you do, wherever you go, as long as you are a good person and you treat people right. That one stuck with me during my dark times, because it's kind of hard to be a good person when you're being a piece of shit. They kind of don't go together.
Yeah.
And so that one always gave me this conflict inside, I'm being a piece of shit. I shouldn't be doing this right now. That one, I heard my dad's voice a lot throughout the years. Another good one that helped me kind of stay my course after, trying to unfuck my life was a federal judge who is substantially older, already retired, with a walker, just coming to court to support. I went to court a lot to support all the people doing well. And he was always really proud of us and really encouraging. And he told me, he's like, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And so I reflect on that now, you know, and who I choose to surround myself with. And I mean, I treat everyone equally. I don't judge. I come from a place where I don't feel like I have a right to judge anyone. Um, but it gives me perspective as to not living the life I used to live. You know, like I don't want those old friends anymore. I want this new community of people that we all love and support each other. You know, that one sticks with me too.
Can you share a moment or achievement in your journey that you are particularly proud of?
My achievements and things that I'm proud of aren't things that money can buy. They're the big one is when I first got out and I first got home and I got my get well job, and it's, you know, I got a job doing something that's my wheelhouse of knowledge, and they started to trust me. They let me stay in the building to finish my work late. They started, you know, giving me more tasks. They started trusting me with things that they wouldn't necessarily trust the average person with. Having anyone wholeheartedly trust you again was like pivotal. Like, oh, I'm not the giant piece of shit that I've been for so many years. Like, this person trusts me. And it took my family a long time to get there. Took, you know, my daughter a while to get there. But it's those things, the people I have in my life, the things I get to do now, and the people I get to help, and the trust I have now. Again, it's the things that money can't buy that are my biggest achievements, that I'm the most proud of, that sit with me.
Definitely. I agree with you. In moments of doubt, when faced with setbacks during your journey, how did you motivate yourself to keep going?
By getting out of myself, getting out of my own head. It's not all about me, you know? Picking up the phone and calling another person, helping someone, lending a helping hand to someone else, sending a positive text to a handful of people just to make their day better. I get out of myself. Because at the end of the day, it's not about me, it's about other people. And I can get real selfish and self-centered and self-seeking. And so I, you know, when I get down on myself or I'm not motivated, I like helping people and it feels good. So I reach out to others and see what I can do for them.
What message do you want to share with others who are currently facing similar challenges that you've overcome?
Ask for help. Ask for help because you're worth it. Don't bottle it up or think you're different or alone. I'm someone that bottles everything up, and I have a really hard time asking for help, and it has in no way benefited me. So just reach out. Call an anonymous number. Call a friend. Because you're worth it. Don't keep it inside. Reach out for help.
What do you think about giving?
I love giving. Hugs especially.
Yeah.
I like giving a lot. It hits that extra special place in your heart though when you know you give without condition, you know, or without them knowing that, like, you do something secretive for someone else and you see the joy in their eyes and how happy it makes them. It's like my own little secret I get to keep, you know, getting to see the joy in their eyes that, like, I got to do that for someone, you know, whether they know it or not, you know, but it's more fun when they don't.
Yeah, that's a great answer. So how do you live life to your fullest? What are your rewards here that you live for the gifts now that you give yourself back? How do you charge? What do you do in life to live it to the fullest?
I chase you around.
Yeah.
I try not to sit still. I go and have fun, and I go and do things that make my heart beat fast. I wasn't in a position to be doing anything awesome. In the life I used to live, you see all these things and you do all these things and you wish you had the money to do this or the time to do that, or, you know, uh, I finally get to do all those things that I want to do now. I get to share it with everyone else. I get to bring my kid with me, versus before I wanted to stay away from her because I didn't want my lifestyle to bleed out on her and my family. I'd remove myself from that situation. So now I get to go and have fun and play in the desert and go snowboarding and go be on the ocean and travel. I love to travel, and I get to take all my loved ones with me when I do and experience it. I'm Summer, and I am unfucked.